Caution: always wear proper protective equipment, face shield, safety glasses, and gloves when working near, performing any maintenance, or replacing your pump. See the material safety data sheet from your chemical supplier for any additional precautions. First, we will need to depressurize your pump. To do so, you'll need to make sure that the relief tubing is connected to the 4-function valve and routed back to your solution tank. Now, with your pump turned off, turn the black knob or screw counterclockwise until the pressure has been relieved and any liquid in the discharge line has drained back into your solution tank. Next, we will need to flush out the head of the pump using water or a neutralizing solution. Before we do that, check to make sure that your injection valve is properly installed and is operating correctly. If a shutoff valve or a cork stop and nozzle has been installed downstream of the injection valve, it should be turned off. Remove the discharge tubing and place in a separate container for flushing the discharge liquid. Place the foot valve into a container of water and turn on the pump to flush out the head assembly. Once the head assembly has been flushed, lift the foot valve out of the water and continue to let the pump run until it is purged of all remaining water. While the pump is running, check to make sure that your pump is properly zeroed. Turn the stroke knob counterclockwise towards zero or the end of the black or red band on the dial. Listen to the clicking noise that the pump is making. The pump should run quietly at the zero position and you should not hear any clicking. If the pump continues to click at zero or stops clicking before you get to zero, the pump zero must be reset. Please refer to your pump's instruction manual for the re-zeroing procedure. Now set the stroke knob to zero and turn the pump off. Now that the pump has been flushed, we can begin disassembly. Remove the pump head by unscrewing the 4 head screws. Remove the diaphragm by carefully grasping the outer edge and turning it counterclockwise to loosen and remove it. Remove the liquefram disc if your pump model is equipped with one. This is located behind the diaphragm. Check that the size code matches the size code on the replacement diaphragm. Remove the old shaft seal and replace with the new one provided in the repair kit. Make sure to push the shaft seal all the way onto the shaft ridge for proper diaphragm seating. Reinstall the liquefram disc. Remove the new diaphragm from the package and make sure not to scratch the surface. Start the screw on the new diaphragm and get it started, but don't screw it all the way on. Turn on the pump and turn the stroke knob to the setting indicated in your pump's manual. Match up your pump model with the correct stroke setting. With the pump running, screw the diaphragm clockwise until the center begins to buckle inwards and then shut the pump off. Grab the outer edge of the diaphragm and adjust it in or out accordingly so that the center of the diaphragm is flush with the outside of the spacer edge. To verify that the diaphragm is flush, use a straight edge and place it across the face of the diaphragm and the spacer disc. You should have 3 points of contact, 2 on the spacer and 1 on the center of the diaphragm. Once the diaphragm is properly positioned, reinstall the pump head to the pump using the 4 head screws. Make sure to tighten the head screws in a crisscross pattern and only tighten the screws snugly. Do not over-tighten. We'll check for leaks later on. Remember, after a few days of pump operation, make sure to recheck the head bolts and tighten if necessary. To change the O-rings and check cartridge assembly, carefully remove one of the valve assemblies and make sure to note the position of the O-ring and spacer washer. Carefully loosen and replace spacer washer by using a small screwdriver or a pick. Note, if you remove the valve assembly and everything falls out before you are able to note the arrangement, just refer to your pump's instruction manual for the correct positioning. Install the new spacer washer, check cartridge, and O-ring with the flow indicator in the correct direction. Arrows should always point from the bottom of the pump to the top. For the older wet end pumps, you will need to install the new check ball, seat, and spring in the correct order as you remove them. Repeat the steps for the other valve assembly. Reinstall your suction tubing and foot valve and test the pump with water to make sure the pump is okay to put back into service. You have now successfully rebuilt your LMI chemical feed pump.